Before we dive into this week's episode, reviewing She-Hulk Episode 2, just want to let you know that we've had some issues with the online platform we use to record our podcast that resulted, unfortunately, in some issues with the audio files themselves. So we did the best that we could to salvage the audio and make it somewhat listenable so that you can still hear the great discussion featuring our guest for this week. We hope to have the issue resolved fairly soon, so be sure to check out the rest of the episodes as we continue reviewing She-Hulk by subscribing to the podcast wherever you're listening. You're listening to Earth 894, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast that is also ruled by and dictated by the internet. Because without it, where would we be? Not using our recording equipment, that's what we're going to be doing. But anyways, you don't care. That's not here nor there. This is your first time listening to the podcast. We're going to be talking about all the greatest news, reviews, and talking about Episode 2 of She-Hulk, which is going to be a grand old time. With me is the greatest dad in the whole damn universe. We love him dearly. And we also have a friend making his, I don't know how many number return at this point. Basically a third co-host to Earth 894. You'll hear from him in just a minute. But right over to him, to my virtual left, it's Louis Tonarini. How's it going, man?
We're getting Wolverine, Episode 2. It's happening.
There it is.
I'm good. Today, Henry was in the bounce house, and he found a yellow ball, because I threw all the ball pit balls in there. He said, The yellow ball is Wolverine powers! And then he started scratching the side of the ball pit. I was like, where the fuck did you learn that? I've never been more proud. But at the same time, I was like, where the hell did you get that from? So,
that's funny.
So there's that.
Nice, man. Let's kick it over to our good friend over here from Mr. Marvel Minutes podcast, but we like to call him Brian. How you doing, man?
Good. We're getting Howard the Duck.
We already got Howard the Duck. What do you let him blink you like that for? Gross.
How you been doing, Brian? It's been a while since we had you on here.
Yeah, it's been a good minute since I've been on. Glad to be back. Background is a little spotty, but that's all right.
No, hey, at least you can see the background and no pixels.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Fuck Xfinity.
I've been having some internet connectivity issues. So yeah. One thing we like to do to kick off every episode before we actually dive into news and our title of the episode, like I said, talk about She-Hulk Episode 2 here. We like to just catch up on what's been going on, and we have some cool stuff to talk about. So let's kick it off.
MCU for you.
Oh, yes. So, Louis, what's been MCU for you?
Literally nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
You say that every time.
I know. We had Henry's birthday party the other day. My young boy just turned 3. Well, he'll be 3 on Wednesday. But we had his 3rd birthday party, and it was Spider-Man themed. So we had Spidey stuff going. Game where Spider-Man villains inside of plastic, and I stacked. And the kids, in theory, would take some silly string and shoot the villains, like web them up. String. And what's the word? In practice, they just filled the cups up with the silly string and then smooshed it down. Excuse me. And then played with it like that. Also, I had a guy, a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, come over, and he dressed up as Spider-Man for the kids. And
No way.
And the kids loved it.
Aw.
He took pictures with the kids. I didn't see it doing something else, but I heard Henry was so excited that he ran over and got his own Spider-Man man. Picture with Spider-Man himself. So that was nice. We'll get to it later.
While Spider-Man was with the kids, I had to go inside and put on a Disneyplus cosplay that I made pretty much the night before, where I took some wood, little one bodies, and I cut them into an X, and I bolted them together, and then I zipped to them, and then I took made like segments out of the pool noodles, and then I took wire hangers and I connected them in the middle, and then I bent them around to look like his tentacle. Check, tentacles are good, and then I yellow kind of chest plate on, a little bit of the back as well, and then I had green pants that I had duct tape knee onto. I stole rubber boots from work. I had black duct tape. I wish I had gray duct tape. I messed up. I'm sorry to the purists, but I had black duct tape, so I made the belt. It was based on Dr. Octopus from the Spidey and His Amazing Friends show on Disney Junior. She wears a belt. It's like a metal belt. She can put stuff in there, and it gives her power. She puts in there. Regardless, it's a yellow or black duct tape and cardboard, and then I made like the little jewel in the middle out of the yellow duct tape. And so to get ready, I needed help because I had to bungee the tentacles on with two bungee and under my huge man boobs, and so those got hooked onto my back, and but I was too fat for the belt, so I needed a friend to Richard to tape the belt to me. So I was in the whole thing, and I had yellow kitchen, pretty good. So mostly that's what I did for Marvel this week, I'd say.
Can confirm I was there at the party, and it was awesome seeing your costume, dude. Like, you did a great job, like, coming up and just creating that from scratch. Like, Louis, you should be consider, like, when you have time, that is. I think you should really consider, like, building your own cosplays a little bit more, like, intricately, because you got the, like, creative juices that are just, like, I was impressed. I was very impressed.
If I wasn't the world's fattest man, I would be much more into cosplaying. But looking at the pictures from the party, I was horrified. But that's neither here.
Nah, you looked great, man. Heck yeah. Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear the party went well, and it was adorable seeing it. So major dad points to you. How about you, Brian? What's been MCU for you?
Well, the biggest thing this week is that I guess it's kind of some MCU news too. Could be true, could be false. I've still been trying to dig into it in my free time, but it looks like Chris Evans is returning to the MCU.
Ooh.
And with D23 right around the corner, we expect them to hopefully talk a little bit more about Secret Wars, and that would be where he's going to show up.
Mm-hmm. So it's really been just taking over your life, like, ooh, I need to find this now.
I've been digging last week's episode, I want some official proof.
On last week's episode of Earth 894,
we discussed whether or not Captain America was actually on the moon or if he was dead or whatever. Do you think Chris Evans could come back in New World Order, Captain America 4?
I think if he did, it's going to be old man Cap is what we would get.
Yeah.
But with Secret Wars, that takes place, what is that, like in the 80s, give or take, something like that, whatever the timeline is. So Captain would be a young Captain America, but we'd also, get Doctor Doom, we'd get the X-Men. We're already seeing these little bits and pieces that we are going to get Doctor Doom and the X-Men. So it just makes sense that Chris Evans shows up in Secret Wars.
It does make sense. And I personally would prefer to see him show up not as Human Torch from Fantastic Four,
Mhm.
just because it's like, yeah, he's finally back, and he's not Captain America. What the heck you doing? Um, yeah, and funny you bring up the moon thing. So last week I also was saying like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the Inhumans. I'm gonna do it. I have tried a couple times, and I started like trying to watch it, but it's not that I didn't like get bored or anything like that. It was because I was turning it on when I was falling asleep. So I was like, all right, it's something I'll watch to fall asleep to, right? But as soon as I watched like the first 10 minutes or so of the first episode, immediately they basically have almost like a hidden base on the moon that's hidden with similar tech that they use in like hiding Wakanda in plain sight. And I was like, huh. So all the Inhumans are hiding in this invisible place on the moon. And we just been talking about how Captain America might be on the moon. So what if they actually finally bring back the Inhumans? At least that base is on the moon, and literally he's hanging out in the hidden base on the moon with Inhumans, or who else? It could just be that maybe the Inhumans made it, and then something else. I don't know, but I just thought that was hilarious. I'm like, okay, now the moon theory has a little bit more credibility to it now that I've seen the sauce a little bit. But
At least you've been watching it.
yeah, and it's only 8 episodes, so I think I'm gonna try and finish it. Did you say you finished the whole show, Brian? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I've watched it probably 3 or 4 times now.
Wow.
Fucking love it.
It gets better every time.
Yep.
I will say it was getting pretty risque. It was like the whole like sex scene right away in the beginning in the bed and everything. I was like, damn. I was like, wow. Inhuman, all right.
You gotta get,
Yeah, so
gotta get people to
that's
keep coming back
that's
when
funny.
it's on FX or whatever.
Right. Was it on FX or was it ABC? It looked like it was ABC
it was
budget.
ABC.
Right. Which even then, that's still kind of, I don't know. I've only seen the first 20 minutes, so what could I say? But I interject. I'm sorry, Brian. Was there anything else you had to add?
No, that was it. I've been digging and digging. I want some hard proof, but it looks like I'm just gonna have to wait until they announce something at D23.
Yeah. When is D23 again? Is it the like 20th, 19th of September?
I think it's not this coming Friday, but the following. So that'd be the 9th through the 11th.
Wow. It's sooner than I thought. Oh my God, just give me the dates. What are the dates? Give me the dates. Yeah, September 9th, 10th, and 11th. Wow. Woo. Okay. Heck yeah. Get stoked. Oh boy. That's gonna be like trying to do coverage on D23 in the middle of covering a show, but like when a movie drops and there's like the show finale is the following week and you're trying to like do this big movie review, but also review this whole series in the final episode. It's like, oh boy. Content kings. That's funny. Awesome. Well, cool, man. So I already just talked about how my whole Inhumans thing. So that's my little project of trying to catch up on that. But spoilers, at Louis' party, I was there because I was Spider-Man, and it was great. It was fun, and I was terrified like weeks leading up to it that I wasn't going to fit in my damn costume. But thankfully, I've lost some weight, so I fit. Not snug, but I fit. Or too snug, I should say. Also, I was just huffing fumes of like the fabric glue I had to like do a rush job to get my lenses back on because I have like a face shell I got a year ago printed, but I just never really like did anything with it. And then I was like, yeah, I can't fix this ASAP. I just need to glue these on. And I'm like reading the instructions. It says leave glued and untouched for 3 hours. And I'm like, it is 1:30. I need to leave in 2 hours. I am not going to be able to do that. But it worked out. But I was just terrified I was going to lose the lens and while talking to a child, and they were like, ah! But it worked out. Yeah, fun time, man. Fun time. But also the scariest thing, and this is like, I always joke about when people like encounter a spider and I'm with them, I'm like, oh, you could have gotten powers maybe. No joke, when I hopped in the shower before I left to go to Louis' or Henry's birthday party, I hopped in the shower, turned the water on. 5 seconds later, I'm hopping out. Like, nope. A spider this big just dropped out of nowhere, and it starts scrambling all fast and crazy on the in the tub. And I was like, nope. And the water basically like killed it instantly. But I was like, as I was flushing, I was like, Part of me thought for an instant, I should let it bite me. But I realized it's probably not a good idea. So there goes my one shot.
And you missed it.
Yeah. Can you imagine like that actually happened? Probably wouldn't actually happen, but what if, right? That's my episode. What if? What if I actually got bitten in the shower by that spider? All right, enough about that. You never know. And I would have been terrified. What would happen next? So, all right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know what? We're skipping news because I do not want to talk about Meg Thee Stallion. So let's just dive into
Megan
She-Hulk.
the motherfucking Stallion.
Newsflash, she's in it. So now that we've gotten all the fun stuff out of the way, we are here to talk about episode 2 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Now, this episode has a lot of stuff kind of filled in only in like 22 to 25 minutes. It's a short episode by far. They just keep on doing that whole like, oh, look, you got 7 more minutes. And it's just 8 different language of credits, which I get, but whatever. Don't advertise that then. But this episode has a lot, and I am so stoked to finally talk about it because you're going to hear it so many more times from Louis about who we're getting because this is giving more and more proof, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. So let's dive into the episode. So I want to start off right away by just kind of getting caught up with how you're feeling about the show so far, Brian. We've had the first episode out. We saw about the origin. We got to see a little bit more of what's going on. And now they kind of dive more into like the lawyer side of Jen Walters and kind of going from there. So what's your take on She-Hulk so far?
So far, I really love it. I guess technically this is our second time within the MCU that they've actually talked about GLK and H. But we're actually getting a deeper dive into it. And we all know, yeah, they represent superhumans. But what we don't know from the comic books is that it's across time, space, and the mortal plane. And it's really awesome that we're getting a deeper dive. I think the first time they brought it up was in Agent Carter. And it was just real brief. It was a one-shot and done. Someone had just mentioned it. And I'm really excited. And that's why I kind of feel like we could get Howard the Duck brought back into this because in, I guess, what was it? She-Hulk Volume 1, Number 9, back in 2004, Howard the Duck used GLK&H to try to sue George Lucas over movie rights.
How are we only in 2 minutes into this like discussion and you already found a way to pull in Howard the Duck into? I gotta play this.
It's time for a Mr. Marvel prediction.
Because we didn't think of it?
To see all the possible outcomes.
How many did you see?
14,605.
I know it all.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's back up. There's a lot to unpack there.
There is.
So GLK and H, you said the first time it was mentioned was in Agent Carter and like the TV show?
Yep.
Okay. So were they talking about the law firm or was it just something else that it was in reference to?
They had just referenced, I think Peggy Carter was asking somebody about, like, who is this? And they're like, she works for GLK&H. I can't remember the exact reference, but that's the first time that the MCU actually brought it up. And what was really cool in the comic books, all throughout the history of GLK, I guess it was GLK and B maybe, or I think just GLK.
Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway.
But they reference comic books in all their little depositions. So we should get a lot of comic book references from GLK&H. And there was one hidden Easter egg that you actually had seen today.
Now it makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, because I was going to talk about that later. It was like, why? I thought that was so strange. Oh, so, okay. Okay, that's really cool. So they talk about a lot of comic books. So what was the other thing you mentioned about, like, all across space, time, and the planes?
Plane. Like, so they represent superhumans everywhere. And
eventually,
gotcha. They should start representing supervillains. And I think we're kind of getting a fast forward into that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. That actually made it pretty cool. Do you think we're actually going to get them mentioning that kind of stuff? or anything more into actually who GLK and H really is?
I really hope so because they were, a super important part of, the She-Hulk comics,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope we get a little bit more info on them.
Interesting. Yeah, because I saw that comic book thing when I was doing a little rewatch earlier today, and I saw that. I was like, ooh. I was like, what does this mean? What is it? I gotta make a TikTok. And then Alyssa's like, are you talking to yourself? As she comes out from the other side of the apartment. But yeah, so wow, I'm mind blown. Did you know about any of that, Louis?
Literally nothing.
This is why we bring Brian on, so we can figure these things out. Well, cool. So going back to this episode then. So, Louis, how did you like this episode? Did you enjoy it?
It was okay. I feel like we're too really. That's how
I keep describing it to people. Like
I guess I'm usually.
and
And
this is
I feel like she's
got fired, right?
Mm.
And she met the guy, Neil,
and
and
then it ended. So they don't fit in, and they like the silly stuff at the end, post credits, which is fine.
Mm.
I love the show. Brian said he.
I love it.
Waiting for like some
Lot here.
the fact that she's representing Emil Blonsky, yeah, but like we got to get some. So we'll see.
Fair enough. I'm still kind of I guess you bring up a good point about like the whole action thing. I guess it's more like a matter of like personal preference. Like for me, I'm enjoying this just because it's funny and like I'm enjoying the story so far. I don't think we're gonna. If I had to like guess on what we're getting so far of like what the percentage breakdown might be of like story versus action, I think we're gonna get like 40% action and then 70% story or 60% story, however that breaks down. And I'm kind of okay with that personally because I know like she's got to be so expensive for them to do on a TV budget to animate and everything. You've seen all the complaints. So I can't imagine like how hard it must be and how expensive it is to really do a lot of big action sequences with her. But then again, it is what it is. So one of the funny, go ahead. Just I think you're on like a delay or you're lagging.
Sorry,
I've seen in the rumor mill that
Titania is supposed.
Seen around the rumor mill that
Titania
is supposed to be a part of the
Thunderbolts.
how she's going to fit in there.
When all we've seen
A desk thrown at her and then
punched
into oblivion. Like I feel like
they need to bring her into the fold. Keep forgetting that this show is more.
The whole Thunderbolts thing you brought up, Louis,
Waiting
is
for
kind of
something
interesting
for her
because
I thought she was
I
gonna
don't
be
really
on
think
that
Titania really fits who I would expect to be in the Thunderbolts, but I never really thought of too. What if we almost get like kind of like the Suicide Squad? There's a lot of people, and then it gets whittled down, and then that's your core team, right? Could that be something we get where I don't know? After a while, we cut people out. I don't think they're gonna kill people off like that, but just like some people just they don't fit. They get arrested, or they just go away. But these are the people who really make the cut, make the team to Thunderbolts. But a little Easter egg. I don't even know if I call it an Easter egg, actually. Sorry. But later on in this episode, we're kind of skipping the gun here a little bit. But Jen finds out with GLK and H that she has to actually represent one of her first clients there is Abomination. And he's talking to her about this whole, like, what he's been up to, what's been going on, giving his perspective, and he's kind of this weird dude. But he mentions the whole 7 soulmates thing, or 7, like, pen pals he's took up and everything. And I started thinking about that more. And now he's talking about like, oh yeah, these 7 people I talked to and yada yada. And then you were talking about Thunderbolts, and I'm like, is it possible that he's already talking to the rest of the Thunderbolt squad while he's in jail?
I didn't even, that never even crossed my mind. I just figured
'Cause-
he was.
Because I was like, who are
he's
these 7
taking
people?
7 lovers. Isn't that what
Right.
he said 7 lovers.
Yeah, 7 lovers. And that's on like it's I don't know. And then I was also watching over this weekend like the whole Heaven's Gate thing on this like docu-series on Hulu, and I immediately just started thinking, what if he's in a cult? And then I was like, okay, that's too far. I need to back up. That's when speculation gets a little too rampant. So yeah. Another thing we got to see here, we got to see who Ched was.
Good old Ched.
I know we were all excited for that. We were all waiting for Ched to show up.
He's employed and got a promotion.
Didn't he say he works at Best Buy?
Yeah.
He could
Sponsored
probably
by.
use his help right about now. Be honest.
Yeah, for real. You know, I don't like Brian. Do you know if there's any like comic relevancy to like Cousin Ched at all, or is he just a made up thing from you? What you know?
I mean, there is comic relevancy, but he's nobody really important.
Gotcha.
Kind of your comic relief.
Fair enough. I mean, I kind of got that based off the way he was joking around and stuff. I thought he was kind of annoying, which I guess is the point, right? For him to be like that. Yeah. But, you know, I just want to go right into it because I'm tired of waiting for it and I don't trust my internet anymore. So, YOLO. We got 2 things that I took away as like the biggest moments in this episode. Okay, actually 3. So the first one, we get this little exchange on the phone and everything where Jen is talking to Bruce on the phone and talking about what's going on and bringing up Abomination and kind of get like his opinion and everything. But the reason why it's important because while she's talking to him, we find out by the time the call is ending, he's actually on that ship, the carrier class Sakaar ship, and he's zooming back. So there we go. Right away, he's hopping off. He's gone. What's gonna happen? What do you guys think?
Oh, before Brian really breaks it down, before Brian really gets into it, because I know he's got a whole spiel. I keep seeing that old man Hulk, the one with the long hair, the balding long hair, and the gray beard, and I would love to see some of that, but I don't really have an explanation to how we get there, but I would love to see some of it.
Was that same Hulk you just described? Was he in that really shitty Avengers video game? Okay,
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah.
He's in the comics and everything, but he's one of the skins in the Avengers game.
Gotcha.
So
now
yeah,
for the real
Brian,
truth.
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, you know we're getting set up for something bigger, which it could only be one of 2 things: Planet Hulk or World War Hulk. And with Ragnarok, that was a lot of pulling from Planet Hulk, so it leaves us with one thing: World War Hulk. And Hulk's coming back, Professor Hulk, Smart Hulk, whatever you want to call him, he's going away, Banner's going away, and it is gonna be the badass Hulk.
Real quick, I have to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Hulk or do you prefer Smart Hulk?
So I have a problem with Smart Hulk. Hulk is, I don't know what the right word. He's perfect in every way, but why does he need glasses? That it bothers me so much.
Well, the thing is, do we know he's actually using the glasses to improve his vision, or is he just trying to like look like a hipster? How you wear like the clear lenses, like in high school, you know?
So
I guess
prefer
that's a good
just
point.
The normal Hulk smash. That's my jam. I hate the.
Thank you. I
Smart
lost
Hulk.
that battle last week, 2-1. I was outnumbered. I said Avengers 2012 Hulk is best Hulk.
I'm still working on the video montage of you narrating that little monologue going on because it's actually really funny. So I'm trying to match up all the clips and scenes and everything from the movies. Once
I
it's done, I think it's gonna be pretty funny.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
But-
because that was like too funny.
Continue your World War Hulk explanation there, Brian.
I mean, that's really it. It's the only thing that we can lead up to. We know he's going back to Sakaar. In the original Planet Hulk, he had a lot of connections in Sakaar, and he was, basically a god there. With the thought of certain people being killed, I don't know. It's hard to really think about any other option. Because the Grand Master he's dead.
Do you think he's dead though? Because there was a whole thing they were talking about with Love and Thunder, saying that they shot footage with him, but then they cut it. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, if they cut that, is it because it just wasn't going to fit, or was it because it's going to potentially conflict? Because I also heard rumblings over the last week and a half or so that apparently Universal may not actually be holding the rights to Hulk anymore within the next year, which is why I'm thinking, oh shit, maybe it's actually finally going to be possible for Marvel to actually make a standalone Hulk film, or like, actually Hulk titled film.
We'll just have to see. Maybe they announce something at D23.
That'd be what do the kids say? Out of pocket. That would be the thing that's like the totally random thing, like least expected to be announced at D23. That was my like place all your money and you've like I don't know how gambling works, but make a lot of money if you were against those odds that something with Hulk is actually announced. That would be freaking nuts. How do you feel about that, Louis?
Yeah, I feel like D23. You guys keep bringing it up, and like I feel like Comic-Con was where they really dropped the mic, and D23 is not going to be as mic droppy. So I feel like they're not going to really get into any new stuff. I feel like they're going to like elaborate on stuff that we've already got.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's going to be like an alley-oop.
Yeah, show a couple teasers or something, or be like, hey, you remember that guy that did that thing? He's going to do Fantastic Four. Everyone's going to be like, I knew it. You said that before. I can't remember the guy and I can't remember the thing, but he did a thing.
Matt Shackman is the one in talks to do Fantastic Four. So he's the producer and director of WandaVision.
WandaVision, that's what it was. See, I was hoping for Jordan Peele. Jordan Poole's a basketball player. I was hoping for Jordan Peele.
I love you, Lou. You crack me up. Oh, man. Yeah, so the other thing with Hulk here, we get this really good fourth wall break and meta joke that I think is actually probably one of the best fourth wall they could have done.
The best writing you could have done for this show happened. Go ahead, Devin.
So when they're talking about like who he was, he's like, I was a totally different person back then. She goes, ha, and she looks actually at the audience. That is perfect. That is the best way ever.
Literally. And she goes, ha. I had to pause it for Hannah. I said, do you get it? She goes, no. And I was like, well, it was Ed Norton the last time he saw Abomination. Mm. Oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's the best joke they could have made. That was the best.
Well done.
Every second
well freaking played. I saw people talking about that too online, of course. Like the whole debate is like resurfacing of like Edward Norton versus Mark Ruffalo, and I'm seeing so many people to say like Edward Norton was much better. He was the best. He's like completely like checks all the boxes more than Ruffalo does, and to me that just feels kind of like, wow, has his audience always been there, or are they just finally like getting more of the spotlight to talk about it because of this? But I don't know. I'm kind of curious, real quick. How do you guys feel? Are you more of a Norton, or are you more of a Ruffalo? Who's the better banner?
Ruffalo all the way.
I enjoyed the Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk movie, but a lot of people just straight up didn't. And if you're going to sit here and talk about how great Edward Norton was. How come you keep saying his movie was dog shit? Well, it was the directing and this. Well, no, it comes down to the star of the movie at the end of the day. And he left because they had creative differences. So I guess that kind of covers him a little bit. But I don't know. I think Mark Ruffalo does a pretty good job.
Yeah, I'm too attached to Ruffalo at this point. And when I watched The Incredible Hulk recently, I just couldn't get into it as him as much. I just didn't buy the character, I guess. But, you know, he did a good job. Just, I like this one better. Whatever that meme is. So that's the big thing. The two other things I want to talk about. Good ol' finally got a goddamn reference to that stupid ass dead celestial just sitting in the Indian Ocean in the most nonchalant ways ever. Just, holding, fondling us from above.
The best content from Phase 4, according to Michael from the Stark Wars podcast.
Go check out our last episode. He loves journals in Phase 4. We really need to get him back on so we can figure out why. Shout out to Stark Wars. Go check him out. But yeah, in that little sequence when Jen is essentially, she got let go from her job. She's just kind of doom scrolling and looking all that stuff on that one web page. If you get it, I think it's like literally the 6-minute mark. Look for a couple seconds there. And you see on the right-hand side, what does the little related article say? It says, why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? I love it. I love it.
Glad somebody finally referenced it.
It just, my beef with this whole celestial thing is the fact, like, Louis, you sent me this really funny TikTok that was like, people are talking about this. Why would you do this? And then it's like literally goes through every show, like, oh man, Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like, oh wow, look at all this stuff. You know what's weird? Do you know that weird celestial, like, big statue just sticking out of the ocean? That's weird, right? And
too bad we couldn't get into college. Hey, how about that big celestial sticking out of the thing?
Like, when you put it like that, yeah, it's funny. But my issue with all this nonsense is the fact that this gigantic statue erupted out of the Earth's core and just died and got stuck out of nowhere. And the fact that there's no, like, direct effect on the climate or the globe or, like, disasters just stemming from it is what is, like, I want addressed. Something like that immediately should have flooded and caused tsunamis and, like, total destruction. Now, granted, we're about to see Atlanteans and everything go fucking nuts with water in a couple months here with Wakanda Forever because of Namor. So could there be something with that? I don't know. I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if it's really the time or place. But that's my issue, is the fact that we've gone so far in this whole goddamn phase about grief, and no one's talking about how they probably lost, like, countries and land because of this, like, erected half statue out of the ocean. And that's my beef. I just don't get it. Yeah, I said erected. If it actually came up, it's like, I think they use it structural and stuff.
A new
Is that a fucking erection just sticking out? Like, boy, look at me over here.
That's not lava.
Oh. I was just trying to make Brian laugh and it worked, but you caught me. Usually when you're ranting, I'm pretty good at it, but you caught me that time. Oh, that was funny.
Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't have a problem with it. Nobody else cares about Eternals, man. I don't know why Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness should.
Oh my god. Anyways, moving on. There's this article. And Louis, 10 offbeat jobs for a fresh start, and then has a QR code right next to it.
Absolutely. One of it was like dressing up as Chip and Dale or something.
Yeah, the sweet Swiss Village mascot. It says, have you ever wanted to pack everything up and start a new life in a cozy village straight out of a storybook? Sorry, it's a little blurry. Now that dream can become a reality because I can't read this, has posted a unique job offering to start a full-time permanent position as a mascot, even comes with housing in the town square. That's funny. I couldn't scan the QR code. It just wasn't working on my iPad when I was trying to scan it. Brian, Louis, were you guys able to scan that?
I
I
got
was
it.
able to scan it.
Was it just like She-Hulk #2 or something, or what is it?
#1 from 2004, when she is an Avenger fighting alongside Captain America, Iron Man, and they're fighting MODOK and the forces of AIM.
Interesting.
Freaking MODOK.
Freaking Captain America. If you saw her phone screen, I feel like that joke is going to be in every episode.
Captain
There's going to be
America
just a
fucks.
Captain America.
Captain America. Fuck.
Oh man, too funny. But you know what, fucks? That's a
Xfinity?
transition. That's a segue. Oh my god, this is when in the news anchor they would like take their papers and go, you know what? Whatever. Throw it up in the air. Fuck it. We're doing it live. The third thing on here, which I could not believe I missed it until I had to read for it. It's another related article. Right above it, there's Iron Man 3s. It's a shoe ad. And it almost looks like kind of like Spider-Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse. Kind of looks like her color scheme and everything.
What does it say, Devin?
Yeah, it says Iron Man 3s. Is there any relevance to Iron Man 3? Are they really trying to reference Iron Man 3 here?
What does it say under the celestial, Devin?
It's actually above.
What does it say, Devin?
All right, I can't do anymore. There's an article that says,
It
man,
says we're getting Wolverine. That's what it says, Devin. We're getting Wolverine. Yes, it's happening. It's about damn time. Per Lizzo, we're getting Wolverine. It says man with metal claws gets in a bar fight. Who else has metal claws? It's Wolverine. If you say X-23, I'm gonna slap you.
well, that X-23 isn't a man, so right?
What? You're not wrong. X-23 is his daughter or whatever.
The clone thing, yeah. Man fights with metal claws in bar crawl or bar brawl. That'd have been funny, actually. So last time I remember, first X-Men movie actually shows Wolverine for the first time, Logan, in a bar, and he gets in a fight. Right? That's when Rogue finds him. Was there any other instance where he gets in a bar fight in any other movies, or I'm sure maybe, but
Always. I'm pretty sure it was even in Logan, because the little Asian sword fighting girl, or not Logan. What's the other one? Origins.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he gets to do a bar fight with Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
Victor.
Mm.
In a yeah. Hey, can you guys take this outside? Victor! And then he like has the bone
Yeah.
claws. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Victor like stomps on him or whatever and shatters him. He's like, ah! And then he claws and he cuts that guy's sink off. So, anyways, we're getting Wolverine. It's happening.
Did you notice that right away, Louis,
Absolutely
when you
not.
watched it?
Absolutely not.
I was trying so hard not to spoil that or give any inclination that there was going to be a Wolverine reference this episode. So when I was doing like the whole like episode without spoilers or spoilers without context, I was, easily could have just put in like a Wolverine claw or something. But if I did that, instantly you would have been like, what? And I didn't want to spoil that or for anyone really.
You guys had posted on our group chat on Instagram that you were excited to review. It's such a big episode, and I said I just watched it. Didn't seem like that big of an episode, and so I googled what the hell's going on with this episode. And they were like, "Fucking Wolverine, bro." I was like, "What?" And so I had to like look it up, and then of course I walked out there. By that time, I had taken my nighttime medicine, and I was standing there in my underwear, and I was like, "Hey, you have to see this." And I turned on the screenshot for Hannah. I was like, "Look, it's talking about the celestial. What does this say?" And
That's awesome.
so, as Henry would say, we're getting Valkyrie.
That is so funny. I wonder why they decided to choose to put that here out of all things.
It's the perfect place
Why do you think that?
because, like, it's not too serious, but it's serious enough to where, like, you're gonna get people talking, but it's not like, you see him at the bar at Madripoor or something. You're like, no, he was right fucking there, bro. He was right there. Because now it's like just a little seedling, you know? You're like, oh, getting all tingly and shit. I think this is the perfect place to put it.
What if he was at that bar that they were having the after party for the law, like the case right before she gets laid off, essentially?
Shit can?
Yeah. What if he was in the background this whole time?
Well, they haven't called me yet to come in and audition, so I assume that, he wasn't there. Because I wasn't in the episode. Nobody called me to be in the bar, so couldn't have been him.
Well, if you had the role anyways, you wouldn't be able to talk about it. So how do we know you're telling the truth?
X. Exactly.
What's your take on all this, Brian?
I mean, I think it was a perfect time to drop it in there. We just got our first, mutant nudge with Miss Marvel. And, I mean, they put it in a great place because it was right there, the QR code. So, of course, a lot of people are spotting those. They're pausing them, and you're going to read all that stuff. I mean, even there was the Find Ant-Man and Norse mythology. There was a lot of little hidden things on that page.
Yeah, those little tags up top, it's hilarious. It says, there's a fun tag, movies, Find Ant-Man, Cars, Norse mythology, Avengers, and then there's a blue one that's cropped a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it just says Insanity, which I think that's where she's reading this article about the 10 offbeat jobs. Yeah. So I guess that's a really interesting point, too, that kind of opens up another can of worms, is the whole fact that if this guy, clearly it's Wolverine. He's here. He's getting in fights. It begs the question, how long have mutants actually been present in at least Earth 616 in the MCU? Has it been recently? Has it been only maybe a few? I know one of the biggest theories post like Endgame and everything was like, with all the different snaps, all that gamma radiation, is this their way of like segueing into introing the mutants just because of that? Like, does it activate the gene? I don't really know, but that just that's, if you guys had to guess, what do you think they've been around for much longer, like decades, or do you think of it just like pretty much in the last 5 years mutants are starting to pop up?
Well, I mean, you gotta think, if they're pulling in Wolverine, they're gonna have been there for decades, for centuries even, just flying under the radar. And I mean, we even saw Professor X. Yeah, it was on, a whole different Earth, but still.
Yeah. True.
I just, if they've been here for that long, I just really hope that when they come around, we don't get the classic Phase 4 line. We couldn't help with Thanos because we had to not interfere with human affairs or whatever the fuck they keep saying every fucking movie.
Yeah.
Well, we were gonna help, but we didn't want to interfere with human affairs. It's like, oh my god, we get it, but you all got snapped too. Why the fuck wasn't Wolverine out there trying to cut Thanos' goddamn head off? Because he would have gone for the head. Because he don't give a fuck.
Yeah, maybe I could even see like some retconning here and there where they try and say like, oh, there actually was like a couple of mutants present, but there was just so many people and so much action that no one ever noticed us. I'm like, well, why? I don't think we need. I don't think we need that. It'd be.
Did you see when they asked the Russo brothers about Nova being there for Endgame, and he
really
kept sharing like big, open shots from the movie? He's like, yeah, he's in this one. Look, he's right there, and it's just a huge battlefield full of people. He's like, he's right in there. You can see him. It's just a big field. There he is. There's Nova.
The real question was, Howard the Duck present?
Howard the Duck was in Endgame.
He was there.
He was. Did he have a gun? He had something. He was running around.
Was he seriously there and I never noticed him?
Howard the Duck is in Endgame.
What the fuck? Or what the duck, I should say. Damn.
Now I gotta find the photo for you, dude.
I'm learning so much in this episode, and I'm not even talking about like this show. I'm talking about like literally this recording
None of it's
tonight. This
about
is an
She-Hulk.
experience. Yeah, so maybe we should talk a little bit about She-Hulk. So the big kind of cliffhanger ending on this episode is the whole fact that she feels almost like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can help this guy. Maybe I can help Abomination and everything. What's going on with him? And then right away, we find out he was fighting with Wong out in, I forget the name of the club and everything. Oh, shit, yeah, he was there. Well, I'll be damned.
We're getting Howard the Duck.
We're getting Howard the Duck.
It's gonna happen.
Again.
Oh, my God. I got to find my character that we're getting something of.
I don't know if you remember, Devin, but you were waiting so long for an Eternals trailer to drop. And so we were in a competition of what were we going to get first, Wolverine or an Eternals trailer?
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I guess
We're
that
getting
says a
Pip
lot.
The Troll.
Pip the Troll's coming. Okay, so Shang-Chi. Abomination is in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Michael from Star Wars podcast. Least favorite thing from Phase 4. I'm sorry. Just kidding, obviously.
You're fine.
So he was kind of going in and out of his jail cell with Wong's help, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't just escape and go do that, and then he was just not there. Like, Jen didn't talk to him, and then he escaped to go do that. He was back in his jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just making sure.
And that's what I wonder, is that one of his is Wong one of the 7 soul loves or whatever?
One of his lovers.
Yeah, one of his lovers.
I literally
don't know.
think he just meant, like, when people in prison get, like, pen pals and they all take lovers and stuff like that.
Well,
Weird,
you gotta
people.
think though, like you saw his kind of security with how isolated he is and all the like precautions. There's no way he's interacting with other inmates. He's totally like he has no privacy.
Well,
Just-
what
yeah.
the clandestines were locked up there too, but they escaped easily.
Okay, that was just a bunch of bullshit in my opinion too. I mean, I think the clandestines may have been the dumbest things since. I can't even think how old, but I'm not a fan.
Dare you? I loved whatever the clandestines were. Is that Miss Marvel?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I loved Miss Marvel.
oh yeah. You like that? Name one character from the clandestines.
The black
Yeah.
girl.
You're good.
Kamran's mom. Namja. It was something like I'm
You-
close.
You named one, Kamran.
Yeah, get the Kamran.
Boom,
Oh,
Kamran.com.
Kamran was a clandestine.
Yeah, he was a clandestine.
Cameron.
It's like the joke. It's like, oh yeah, you love Avatar? Name one character.
I've never seen Avatar.
I'm not gonna go Star Wars on that one.
I
The
love
blue-
those blue people.
Yeah, the blue one, or are we talking the it doesn't matter. Anyways, back to She-Hulk again somehow. Yeah.
I was gonna talk about the whole.
Moon Knight.
Whose line is it anyways? Where everything's made up and nothing fucking matters. Oh my god, I've lost my sanity with this recording. I apologize, everyone. We've had so many technical issues tonight that I'm just kind of like over the moon. Get it? Moon, and it's night because there's a moon in it. Crack myself up with that one. Okay, so Wong is gonna probably show up in episode 3. That's my prediction. So we never really have a chance to do this, but now we have Mr. Marvel on the episode. So of course we'd be remiss if we didn't ask what his predictions are for this series.
Well, I mean, you said it right
Please,
there.
music.
Wong is going to show up. We know Wong's going to show up. We've
Mhm.
seen the preview. But yeah, it's got to be obviously episode 3, episode 4, and he's going to explain why he's pulling Abomination out of the cell and what that is all about. Titania, she's an influencer. She's I don't know, not a mutant, but she has powers. She's somewhat strong. She is the nemesis, basically, of She-Hulk. She just got humiliated in a courtroom, so she's gonna come back in full force. Um, it's gonna get intense. I think probably around episode 5 or 6, we're gonna get Leapfrog or Frogman. I don't know who it's gonna be, but it's gonna be one of the two. And then we get our tie-in to Daredevil, and then we hopefully come back to Bruce and see what he is doing on Sakaar.
Fair enough.
I don't think we're gonna see Bruce anymore, buddy. I really don't.
I mean, that's really the question, right? It's like, when are we actually going to see him again with what's going on? Because aside from also Shang-Chi, that little like video conference they had about talking about the Bengals and everything, or at the rings, excuse me, wrong show. We see that he's, oh wow, he's in the cast and he's human. So this is obviously that was obviously before what's going on in She-Hulk. But I wonder if he's going to cut off communication with everyone, or I don't know. So I just hope it's not a thing where we have to wait like another couple of years or something just to like catch up with him again or see what's going on. That's what would drive me nuts. So if they're going to do something big with him and Sakaar, I feel like that has to kind of be announced soon, and that could be a Phase 6. So that is like what, 2 years away, 3 years away, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 men. Yep.
Man.
All I know, we're getting Howard the Duck, so that's just wait.
All bets are off.
So you had said that Frogman was going to be the connector of She-Hulk and Daredevil. And when you said that, I thought it was so ridiculous and impossible that Frogman was going to connect these two characters that I told you I would send you a free Earth 894 t-shirt. And then I was watching a TikTok where a man was explaining that it seems like She-Hulk is going to have more cameos than Multiverse of Madness. Then they started going through some people that we've seen. Oh, you got this guy and that guy and Emil Blonsky and Wong. And he goes, here's Frogman. I said, no fucking way is Frogman visible in this fucking thing. And there he was, being Frogman. I said, I'm going to have to send Brian a goddamn t-shirt. So, I mean, time will tell, but Frogman, who would have fucking thunk?
Or Leapfrog. I don't know. It's one of the
no,
two. It's the same costume.
A frog character. Yeah. That's not Toad.
Leapfrog and Frogman, I mean,
Father and son. And they both
gotcha.
are tied into Daredevil.
There you go.
That's going to be our tie-in.
Leapfrog man. God bless
wait.
you.
Thanks. Oh man. So, do we have any final thoughts on She-Hulk at all? Anything you guys want to get out before I pull my hair out?
I think we're gonna get a post-credit scene every episode. Seems like the post-credit scenes are just silly shit that happens that has to do with part of the episode. Like helping hang a TV and helping her dad around the house and stuff like that. So I feel like we're gonna get just a silly post-credit scene every episode, and watch me be proved wrong. Literally this coming Thursday.
It'd be funny, kind of ironic if every episode except the final episode had a post-credit scene, where that's usually the most important one to have.
What was I thought her dad was the Fonz. I thought it was Henry Winkler. It was not.
I just watched The Waterboy for the first time this weekend too, so it's funny you bring him up.
For the first time?
For the first time, yeah. I also watched Sweeney Todd for the first time, as well as Edward Scissorhands for the first time last night.
I've mean, I've never seen Sweeney Todd, and Edward Scissorhands is complete ass. But the Water Boy, love the Water Boy.
Mama.
I'm gonna say
Mama said-
alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
I understand so many more references I never got as a child now from playing sports and
Water
everything.
Boy. And I
It's
like
great.
Vicky, and she like me too. And she showed me her boobies, and I like them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Adam Sandler. When is he coming? He's gonna be Frogman. Adam Sandler, Frogman. That's my prediction.
No, it's gonna
for
be
you, Brian.
it's gonna be Mr. Fantastic, man. I saw the leaks.
Oh
They,
yeah.
my video got out and they were like, "Sorry, we got to reel it back. We can't do it at Comic-Con. We have to save it for D23." So, place your bets. Adam Sandler.
Devin got the leaks.
Also, I just want to say, I would love to see Adam Sandler in a Marvel movie. I don't care as what or who or how. Shut up! Can you imagine if he was Black Bolt? Instead of saying "I'm sorry" and killing that 838 Strange, just goes, "Shut up!" Shit! Shouldn't have done it. You messed up. Oh, that'd be great. On that note, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm fucking dead. Trivia, Devin. Trivia.
Yes,
Do
then
some
we're out of
shout
here.
outs.
All right. We every Tuesday we like to do trivia because it's trivia and it's Tuesday. So what we did for this last week, if I can remember from the archive of my brain,
In the Avengers, what does Bruce Banner ride to regroup with the Avengers? Was it A, a Chitauri glider, B, a Chitauri Leviathan, Leviathan, C, a missile, or D, a motorcycle?
and the correct answer was
And the
a
correct answer
motorcycle.
was a motorcycle. Nobody guessed missile, luckily. So
I
let's
usually
do
stump
some,
someone with something.
let's do some shout outs. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah.
Shout out to Nerd Dose Podcast,
Good old Jab Frisbee.
Nerdy Boys,
Team Unicorn Podcast.
Mandy Loves Photography, 1998,
Hey, look at who it is. Mr. Marvel's Minutes.
GC Malashevsky,
Pixie Dust Sammy.
Two Sides of the Story Pod,
Unicorn.
NYCA9.
Stark Wars Pod.
Good job, everybody.
You know, and the reason why I came up with that question is because you were talking about that moment in your monologue from our first She-Hulk episode review. So I was like, hey, I'm going to put this in the trivia.
I thought it was a moped. I was wrong.
You know, when I watched it, I know I already had to post it. I'm pretty sure he rides a dirt bike, but I mean, dirt bike, motorcycle, moped, they all got two wheels, right?
All right. So, Would You Rather Wednesday. We teamed up with the man of the hour, Michael, from the Stark Wars podcast last week. And it got me thinking, would you rather have an Iron Man suit or an X-Wing? But I didn't know how to say X-Wing. I thought it was a X-Wing fighter jet. But Devin informed me that is not how you say it, you dumb boy. So
The fact was, you're like that. You're like, okay, man, that doesn't sound right to me, but whatever. And I was like, are you really?
I would have been like,
Really?
I would have been like staring right at my phone up here. An X-Wing at Aliciousness. So we changed it to a lightsaber, which is pretty iconic. And on TikTok, on the Tick of Talks, I have 55% of people going Iron Man suit versus lightsaber. What did you say, Brian?
Oh, lightsaber all the way.
Wow, bold.
Yeah.
What would you use your lightsaber for?
To stab the Iron Man suit right through his heart.
Yeah, but
It's true.
If the Iron Man suit's like in the air shooting phaser beams or something.
But if you remember, I'll have the high ground.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I didn't think about the armor. Yeah, I don't think that armor can be safe against the lightsaber.
Also,
and could
I got bored
reflect
and
the shots.
I asked our friends over on TikTok, who is Spider-Man's arch nemesis? I feel like everybody's got a number one villain. Daredevil has Kingpin. Uh, Black Panther has Killmonger or Manape, depending on who you talk to. So on and so on. You know him, you love him. But Spidey has the best list of villains in Marvel, no doubt about it. Guys from Kraven the Hunter to Venom to Mr. Negative, but two names always stick out the most, and I would say that that's Dr. Otto Octavius and Norman Osborn himself, the Green Goblin. And I thought it was close. In my head, it's razor thin. But Green Goblin opened up Dr. Octopus's mouth and took a big steaming dump inside of it on TikTok. It wasn't even close. As Devin said in a TikTok that he sent me, and not Devin said, but as Devin we talked about last week, Dr. Octopus is gobbling these nuts. It wasn't even close. Green Goblin got 85% of the vote. So I dressed up as the wrong guy for Henry's party, is what I've learned. But I had already had the tentacles made, so I wasn't going to change it.
Nah, Doc Ock was much cooler. It was. I think kids would recognize him more as a villain, and if you showed up as a goblin, I think kids could have gotten a little spooked.
It would have just been the goblin from Spider-Man No Way Home. I wasn't going to paint my face green or anything.
Yeah.
Would have been cool if I came in on a helipad, though, a hella thing.
Hella cool.
What do you think, Brian? Doc Ock or Green Goblin?
Oh, Goblin, all the way. I mean, that's
Not-
an arch nemesis.
Not even close?
Not even close. You got to think. Like,
Okay.
He grew up with, Norman. He
Yeah,
grew up with
that's
Norman's son. It was part of the family in a sense until he went crazy.
True. I guess it all depends on like who you're. There's so many different Spider-Man stories. Like he worked with Doc Ock in the video game and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I think of. Like the video game is what really made Doc Ock such a great villain, but also, I mean, it's like he doesn't have, or that version of Peter doesn't have the same kind of relationship that we've like traditionally known with Osborn and everything. At least in this sense, as his like being a mayor and shit. But that one like wrenches on your heart. I still like get emotional just playing and rewatching like playthroughs and stuff like that. Fantastic. However, also, if you guys are familiar with like the whole Superior Spider-Man comic arc and all like that, I think that would go in by saying that how that whole stuff happens, where basically they switch bodies and Peter dies in the really old, now, well, not even old, just dead body of Doc Ock. I would say that Otto is the ultimate Spider-Man villain because he's the only one who actually killed Peter in that Amazing Spider-Man run. But then, guess what? Retcon. He comes back. They all come back. Haha.
Spoilers.
So, yeah.
Gobbling these nuts.
800 issues later. I think it's 800 or something like that. It's insane. But you know what's insane? The kind of night we've had. So if this episode is anywhere relatively close to sounding coherent and put together and somewhat produced for you, then we saved you the trouble of listening to our very deranged episode because of technical difficulties. So I just want to say big shout out and thank you to your patience, or thank you for your patience to both of you guys, Louie and Brian, for putting up with all this and being able to still talk about this episode, make an hour out of it.
All right, Devin. You know what time it is. Hit me.
Ooh, so Brian, I don't think you know about this game. So the whole trivia contest we're on and everything, like I said, to get Louis prepared until we can finally like sit down and watch Star Wars, I thought it'd be fun if I throw a Star Wars question at him every episode just to see what he can answer and kind of go from there. Also because it's comedic joy, like how we got the Sarlacc pit was the rival in the bot race, episode 1. So, you are also a big fan of Star Wars, and you were recently even on a Star Wars podcast as a guest.
I was.
So, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What is a trivia question for Star Wars you want to throw at Louis?
Oh God.
Uh-oh, he's rolling up the sleeve, everyone. Trying to show off the ink. Oh, okay.
What is that symbol?
The Resistance. No. Damn it! I have no idea. That was my guess. The Resistance.
You're close.
If this was horseshoes, yeah, you're really close.
Rebel
That's
Alliance.
The Rebel Alliance. I would have never gotten
Yep.
that in a million years.
The Rebels. But the Resistance is it almost identical, except I don't even know if I have anything that would have the Resistance logo on it. But needless to say, yeah, I'd feel like probably that was you're not a huge sequel fanboy diehard, so probably safe to say it's Rebellion. I want to throw another one at you, Louis. Do I have any props I can throw you? Nah. We'll save it for next week. Oh, what? You got your other arm. Oh, is your okay.
It's a Mandalorian. I can't tell.
Da 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 da.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He's got another helmet underneath it. Oh my god.
Shit.
Did you literally just draw a happy face on your arm, or was that already there?
No, I literally just did it.
All right, everyone. Well, we're about to go blast off to a galaxy far, far away because that's where my brain insanity's at right now. So thank you all so much for bearing with us for this episode of Earth 894. Go check out Brian's awesome podcast, Mercer Marvel Minutes. Where can they find you at?
Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, Google, Amazon. I'll be having new recordings in
Hey.
the next 2 weeks.
And if you're too lazy to look any of that up, we'll have it all in the show notes. So go check out those good old hyperlinks. Also, help us out. Give us a review on all our podcasts. I actually probably should ask you for a review after this one. But we're going to be having a sale coming up on our merch store, so I think it's going to be 50% off for a Labor Day weekend. So go treat yourself to something cool. Get a shirt, get a mug, get a sticker, get a fanny pack if you really want to get one. You know a guy. That guy's me. Talk to me. No problem, Louis. All right, let's actually get out of here. This is Earth 894. Have a good week. We'll see you for episode 3 of She-Hulk next week.